And so typically you should already have a clip inserted into Hitfilm Express. This is Hitfilm Express 12. It's just the free version. And all that you're going to do is you're going to find where you get your kill. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to go and open up our photos, and we're going to take a picture of this right here. It's our kill feed. And all that we're going to do is I'm going to click print screen on my keyboard, and now I'm going to open up something like PowerPoint. I'm just going to go Control V and paste it in. Now from here on out you can easily crop it. You can use anything like Photoshop, anything that will easily crop and trim, and you should be able to save this. Now I'm going to just explode the view just so that it becomes easier to trim. Here we go. And we want to make this as accurate as possible. There you go. So it's not too bad. Doesn't need to be perfect, but just as long as you don't see too much of the background. I do like Siege. Not only do I have the clips for it, but it becomes very easy and apparent as to how I can crop this, unlike something like a kill feed from CSGO, where there are curves or edges which I would need to crop out. This just makes it so much easier. So now, in hindsight, we are going to have to get the second kill, so make sure you do get all your kills and you don't miss any out. Again, same thing, print screen, paste it in. And again, explode the view, making it a bit easier. Okay, just as simple as that. Now, once we've gone and cropped those, you can now turn them into pictures. What you're going to do is you're going to save it, and you can call it whatever you like. So we're just going to go here, save as picture. And once that's saved, do the same for the other. Now, again, involving the pre-planning, we are going to do one more thing, and all that consists of is copy and pasting this. Well, you'd have to copy and paste both, as you see. Now, I'm just going to crop it, and we could crop it around halfway. Now this is to do a glitch effect for one of my edits, so it's not really necessary if you want to keep it plain simple. I'll show you what the plain and simple one looks like, and I'll tell you what one is plain and simple, and then I will add on the glitch effect. Now all that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to line up the second one over the top of this sliced one, this cropped one. Now I'm going to crop this one, and we're going to just find the point. As you can see, there's this point here where there's nothing in between, so we're just going to line it up here. That seems about right. So there you go, they're in two separate pieces. What we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing if you messed up. Especially do this for all your kills, or at least all the kills that you want to do glitches with, and I'll show you how that works later. Now, let's go ahead, find the same point. Maybe you want to change it up, maybe you don't want it straight down the middle, that's fine. To each their own, you can experiment and decide what's best for you. But personally, I quite like it down the middle. It's easier to find, and it's the first thing that I've tried. So there you go. They don't have to be pinpoint. I'll show you why later on. It's because they don't really appear for too long, especially as they're glitches. They just grow larger. So we're just going to go ahead and save those. So now once we get this kill, I want to start it here. This is where it will almost fade in. So this is the third kill. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the track slightly above it. Now as you see, it just comes in straight there. We shall find out how long I want that to last. The way that you can find out how long this will be is always the side where the next frame occurs. So this biggest change in frame, everything back here, is where the the kill feed will appear, whereas anything to the right of here is where it won't, is where it'll stop, which is good. Okay, so now we're going to start the tracking process, and it should be fairly straightforward. All that we're going to do is we're going to change it so that this doesn't look like it's just been slapped in and pasted. So all that we're going to do is we're going to change the clip properties to add. Okay, so I quite like this one. You can change it to something else. I think this is a little bit, at the minute, too bright. So I'm just going to change the opacity of the clip. You can do that by here, by bringing it up and down, or you can make it a little bit more accurate with this slider here. Okay, now I'm going to go add a bit of bloom, or at least glow, sorry. So it just makes it slightly brighter. I'm going to change the threshold just a little bit down so that it's a bit more readable. There you go, brilliant. And don't forget to save. I only need to click save, don't forget to do that, it's very important, especially if it crashes. So now we're just going to go ahead and size it down. I think this is not a bad size. Now I'd say for my last clip, the good reference point was here. What I mean by that is, if we zoom in a little bit, this part would always somehow line up with here. And then scroll using this frame by frame tool. And as you can see, it moves already. So we just slice, we click on that place that we've just sliced, and then we move it. Again, keep it proportional. Don't need to change the sizing just yet because it doesn't move too much. You just need to make sure it tracks the designated place where you wanted it to move with, where it's in relation to. So again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click next frame, so it stays the same. This one stays the same again. Now it moves. So if you really wanted to, you could rotate it around this position with the scope. However, I don't really want to do that, so I'm just going to undo. Don't forget to save again, and just make sure it's in line. And then go again until it moves. Okay, and then now I hope that you're starting to get the gist of how this works, and all it is just some simple tracking. It probably could be done using some kind of optical tracker. So we're just going to keep on scrolling until it keeps on moving. So here we go, it moves again. So we just slice it. We click on the right hand side of where we just sliced, and we just go ahead and move it. So I'm just going to keep on doing this until there's a big change. Okay, so we found the change, and it goes from here to here. So again, we're going to find the right hand side, which is here. We're just going to go ahead and slice it. Then we're going to click on the cursor, and we're going to go ahead and click it. We're going to click the image, and we're going to drag it over to here. However, something's going to change, and we're going to make it a little bit smaller. Now, again, it is pretty important that you keep it in line with your reference point. So as you can see here, it goes from this size to that size, following that point. So again, here it moves from here to here. So we're going to move to the right, and then we're going to slice. Now again, we're going to click, and then we're going to change its scale, just ever so slightly. I'm going to move it over. I'm just going to rotate it just a little bit. Not too much, not too little. So now it moves quite a bit. As you can see, it almost moves out of the frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to do pretty much the same thing. We're going to slice into the right of it, which moves this slightly so that I can see it. Okay, now all that's going to happen is we're going to enlarge it this time. And we're going to change the rotation. So we'll enlarge it. And we'll change the rotation. Unfortunately, in this editor, we only seem to have one axis of rotation, and that rotation is here. So what I mean by that is it means that we can't turn it in a way that almost looks like it's not flat. So the only way that we can do this is almost as if it's a hologram, and we always visualize the kill, and it's always parallel to us, so we can always see it head on. And that's why it's so important to have it in relation to a scope, etc., because then the person who's watching knows that it's supposed to look like that, and that we weren't just too lazy, when in fact we were actually limited by the editing software. So this time it actually moves out of the frame completely, and there's no point in adding anything there. So all that we're going to do is we're going to slice. However, there's a little trick to this. Because if we cut out this entire section here, we would not have the picture back. We'd have to go import it, we'd have to add the glow, we'd have to change its adding effect instead of its normal effect, and essentially it's a whole lot of unnecessary work. So the shortcut around this is pretty much just to find the section where it comes back. So all that we do is we're going to slice it just on that clip. We're just going to go ahead and delete this. It's not needed at this point. There you go. Okay, again, it's gone out of frame. So we slice where it's gone out of frame. Yeah, sorry, that was a slice if you didn't see it. And then we're going to find it again. Okay, I'm going to say it comes back around here. Again, take it as you will. You can obviously, if you felt like doing the extra work, you could have added it in here, even up to here, or here. It doesn't matter. If you felt like doing the extra work, you can, but for me, I don't see the point. That's just personal preference. You could play around with it, experiment, but in my case, I'm just going to go ahead straight up delete it. So there you go. And again, it's back at this point, so we've saved ourselves some work. So we just scale it up. We can rotate it. And part of it will go out of frame, as you see. So most of it is just running through the same steps, and again, it's mainly about being patient with it. Some points it will get a little bit boring, but the end result looks good. I'm going to do all the rest of this work until the next kill happens. I'm going to show you how to layer on a second one just above it. And then after that, I might add in a glitch effect and show you how to do that. So pretty much once you get your second kill, it's just going to be the same over, which is why I decided to go ahead and do the third kill first, just because that way I don't have to track two things at the exact same time. So as you can see, it's all done for me already. So the track is pretty much complete for the third kill. There's no point in doing any more to it, unless of course it fits your theme. Say for example, I'm going to delete some sections just to do a glitch part to the beat of the music. Pretty much copy what we did there, but it's just going to lay over the top, and then after that I will show you how to fade in, fade out, and that way it doesn't just sort of jump out at you after you get the kill. It almost fades in, it almost pops in, and I've done that on my other kill feed, so I'll show you how to do that later. So again, we're just going to change the effects to glow on it. I'm going to change it to the clip properties to add. So now again it's a little too bright. I'm just going to use this sort of opacity changer just to show you how easy it is. There you go, not too bad. Now don't forget to save, just go ahead and lay it over it. So this second kill, it's a little big, so I think what I'll do is I'll change the size of it, and I want it smaller than the first kill. So once I have the sight and the kill feed lined up, it then becomes really easy for me to track. So then we're just going to find it again until it moves. There you go. And seaming is the rotation changes for the bottom one. We might as well change it for the top one too. So all that I'm going to do now is I'm just going to complete the fourth one again, the fourth kill. We call it the fourth kill because I already have kills 1 and 2 taken up, because again, like I said, this was an entire edit. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and finish off this, and then I'll show you how to fade it in. This top kill here, just going to fade it in over time, and I think it's going to fade in around about here when the 130 is the brightest, and essentially just makes it easier to see. So I think these are far too quick, so I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to split them up. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually I think this is enough, and all that it consists of is it's so easy. Just go ahead and drop this one, make this one slightly higher than the last. All that does is it slowly fades it in. As we scroll through, we see that it slowly fades in. Just gonna go ahead and slide this bottom one on the bottom. There you go. And this kill 3 top one on the top. And all that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it just smaller than that, because there's no point, it's not gonna go that far. And then we can slide it just under here. So you gotta watch out, make sure you don't accidentally delete all your hard work, especially here. There's a lot of work involved in that, I'm sure you've seen, so just make sure that you haven't deleted anything important. Pretty much all that the glitch effect is it's just making sure that the top section and the bottom section are either split from each other or bigger than the original kill that you had, the kill feed that you had. So I'm just going to go ahead and move it offset with each other, and slightly bigger, one has to be bigger than the other. In this case I'm going to make it, the top is going to be a bit smaller. There you go. So once that's been sliced, I'm going to go ahead and change up the properties of both of them. So I'm going to make the top one have a different blend. So this one here, it's okay, but it's only the top layer, and you only see it for a fraction of a second, so it'll do. Now with the bottom, it's slightly bigger, so you can find something that you prefer. I quite like exclusion in this case. So all that we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead, slice and delete. This is the original underlying kill feed, and when we delete that, it gives this. And as you can see now, it's not nearly as vibrant as you first thought it was, or as vibrant as I first thought it was. So now all that we can do is add a glow effect, and we just increase the threshold just to make it a bit brighter. Make sure the intensity is up there. So once there's this big stark change, all that happens again is we're just going to move it. I'm just going to leave it like this, and then I'm going to do one more after this where it almost conjoins together, so the glitch is almost finished, as if they repiece back together. You can change the clip properties again, find something that you like. Subtract is something that I do quite like. Okay, now with that done, I'm going to add a grunge effect. So noise is an effect that kind of gives this almost static look, and it can work well with VHS edits, but also something like glitch edits. Just go ahead and change the clip properties, find something that you like. So personally, I quite like the color dodge, so I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm going to delete the bottom section there. Finally, we're just going to piece together this kill feed, so it looks like the glitch is almost more controlled, if you will. And then all that does is it gives the effect of the glitch settling back down. The only way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to make them somewhat comparable to each other. For this, I'm just going to go ahead and do lighten and luminosity. There you have it. That's the basis of how to edit in kill feeds. That's how to add glitches. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. It'd mean a lot to me. The video took quite a while to make, especially the post-editing too. I'm gonna have to trim down where I'm sort of droning on a little bit. So thank you for watching, especially if you've made it this far.